Hello everyone, and welcome back to a new episode of Prismata. Let's just jump in the queue here and see what we can get up to. Got matched real fast, that's nice. And we're against Trump. I did not realize he was still playing. It's kind of late, isn't it? I guess it's not that late. Okay. There's a lot here. I see Xeno Guardian, I'm drawn to that. And like also Zatron. Seems like there's a lot of defense here. Which I don't think Tia will win, for example. But there's also this like absorb denial, which Zatron is fine against, I suppose. All right, 60 seconds. Like you might, I don't know. Colossus is also a big absorber that doesn't work well with Xeno or Zatron, because you want to like absorb on Colossus instead of on these other things for it to get value. I'm kind of inclined to just like try to get Oride Core or Thermite Core going relatively soon, and then get Xenos, maybe? It's hard to get Xenos while also getting Thermite Core, though, right? Because that's a lot of blue. You don't want more blue than that. It's often right to build a Blast Forge on turn 2 for Flame Animus, but here I don't think blue is that important. I think this is a slow enough set to just go Third Engineer. And then I'm not sure what exactly. Yeah, Conduit here. Leaves me a little worried about Tia, but I think Xeno Guardian ought to be pretty good against that, right? Okay, he's not doing that though. I guess we can get a Blast Forge first. What is he gonna get with green and blue? He could get 2 Gauss Cannons and a Thermite Core. I think that's pretty good here. Against which Blast Forge is looking kind of silly. And Conduit would be better. Blast Forge is fine. If he does that, I can build like a Flame Animus or something. And if he doesn't, then I can defend something. Okay, Flame Animus. So I would like a second Flame Animus to let me get Colossus, I think. But I'd also like to be able to build a Thermite Core next turn to line up with some other attacker, right? So if I get this, I can get like Thermite Core plus, well, here. I can get Thermite Core, Flame Animus, Gauss Cannon. Start attacking him. Be ready to like build the stuff I actually want, but not be wasting my attack. We're gonna eat 1 damage from this Flame Animus, but that's life. I feel like he actually maybe should have Tia'd. No, he should maybe Tia me next turn. I'm not really well set up to deal with that, am I? Flame Animus Thermite Core is pretty greedy. A much more conservative line would be Xeno Guardian, which I think would be relatively safe against a Tia. But I'm greedy. I'm not going to do it. I'm going to count on him letting me get away with this. And if he doesn't, I don't know. I don't know. Is Tia really that good? I have 2 Blast Forges, and he doesn't have any real attackers. I think it would be okay. I think I'd be alright against Tia. More likely he, I don't know, is aiming for Colossuses. Yeah, and I have access to like Hannibal as well, and green. I think I'd be alright. Maybe I'm just like telling myself nice stories to... Yeah? Asteri, huh? I mean, I guess I have to get a wall against this. But I should be able to start the Colossus train, right? It's a little bit too early for a Hannibal, that's for sure. And if I want to buy a Colossus next turn, I kind of need... how much extra defense? He's making me lose Force Field NG. He threatens to freeze this wall. I don't know, a lot, I guess, is the answer. Let's just do this. How are the drone counts? 17 each. Interesting. I guess he built drones for longer, whereas I built mine sooner. Yikes, that seems like a big commitment. And I was able to start building, like, pixies. Whereas he built more drones with the same time. Yeah, more frostbites, sure. So he threatens to freeze wall and then kill some drones. But I don't... There's no value in me holding back drones to prevent that, because the drones are only needed if he freezes wall. And if so, then holding the drones doesn't actually get me any absorb anyway. So I'm just ignoring this breach threat. You can have it if you want. You know, breach me for a drone. In order to do that, you have to give me... You're freezing my wall anyway. I think it's better for him to hang on to the Frostbite to make it more difficult for me to get second Colossus. This is fine with me. So how much is he actually attacking? 5, 6 next turn? He threatens 8, I guess. But 8 with 3 freeze. That's assuming he buys a Colossus. If he doesn't buy a Colossus... Okay, so he's not actually threatening to kill my Colossus, I think, which is really important. Even if he freezes my wall again, this one engineer will be enough. Oh, that barrier. Wow. I mean... I'm probably going to attack you for 0 again, right? So the barrier's getting no value. I mean, right? He threatens 9. And I do need to hold the drone here to prevent him from freezing wall to kill Colossus. But that's fine. He gets no barrier value. We continue amassing pixies, and the Colossus train has begun. Now, you know, 9 attack is an amount I'm not super happy with, of course, because I'm losing the drone and the NG. I probably can't buy another Colossus. I'm not sure, though. The Rhino's going to defend, right? So... Now, this turn, I think you do click the Asteri, right? It's actually getting value. Because I'm definitely going to attack. I can't keep Thermite coring anymore. I probably can't build any more Colossuses. Well, actually looks like I just can. Yeah. Who knew? Now let's double check. Yeah, this does. I see. If he had built the Asteri, we could get. If he had clicked the Asteri, we could get a tiny bit of value this way. But okay, he didn't, so we'll do this. One more Colossus seems amazing that I can get away with it. I don't know about those Rhino clicks. I think 8 is the amount you want to attack for, not 9. Since that makes me not granular enough. Right, 1 Rhino stamina is worth more than 1 Colossus health. Yeah. 7's not right. 8 is right. Yeah. So this turn, I can't get any more Colossuses, right? Surely I can't get another. It'll probably be Xenoguardian time in that case. Although, I guess if I can't get a Colossus, it'll be because I need to spend blue or green on defending. And therefore, like, a Xenoguardian will be hard to get. He's got a lot of green saved up. I worry he'll be able to, like, Tia. Which would be pretty, like, shocking for me to deal with. What would I even do? All these Frostbites and Tia? Oof. I guess I'd just shift W, right? But I wouldn't be happy about it. Yeah, so here, I have to do something pretty drastic, right? What if I built 2 Rhinos? Can I do this and get a Xeno? I can. I don't understand why he hasn't been clicking his Asteri, though. He's scaring me. I don't know. These frostbites are pretty mean. I guess my attack is a lot higher than his. Maybe I shouldn't be so scared. It's these frostbites that are making everything look so scary. And to deal with that, I need to get Xenos. And that's what I'm doing. Rhinos are also sort of playing around the freeze threat. Here's the Tia. I was worried about that. I think this is his best chance to win. But I only have to hold out for a couple of turns. And I have blue, blue, green, right? So I hope I can manage this. I would really love to be able to get a... Oh, also he has to lose the Xeno Guardian if he plays this way? No. Okay, now he's saving the Xeno. I would love to get a Hannibal, if there's any way I can do it, because it's just like so much defense. And awkward for him to freeze as well. So he actually has the full freeze threat in this way. That's a lot of defense, or a lot of attack. Yikes. I've made myself very breach vulnerable with these Colossuses, and his frostbites threaten a pretty powerful breach. Like, this is not defending at all. It's not even close to defending. I think I just like absolutely super lose, right? Like, this is the most defense I could make, and it is not enough. And then like next turn I'm, well, next turn I'm in pretty sad shape, but so is he. He can click everything to breach for... Oh, actually he doesn't have perfect freeze, right? He only freezes for 7 this way. So this actually does defend. Right? You can freeze for 3 plus 4 is 7. Yeah? I mean, let's give it a try, I guess. What if I clicked one drone? This offers him a breach for exact. I don't think I want to lose my Xeno Guardian. Well, if he pops all his frostbites for a breach for exact, I think I'd be pretty sad. Let's not do that. He's gonna have a tough time defending too, right? He can produce, what, 10 extra defense? I guess that's enough. But he has to, like, hold all his drones to do it, right? Oh, 11 defense because of that Asteri. Good point. Yeah. I don't think I'm winning this way, though. Popping a Frostbite to make me... Well, this seems awful, isn't it? It makes me lose 3 drones, but I was like having to hold them anyway. So you just like threw away a Frostbite, basically. I think I'm still kind of dead. Ooh. Am I? I'm through, right? But... I mean... Still looks pretty bad. I don't see any way I can make the numbers come out better for me here. He has 7 freeze again, so that's 20 damage, which breaches me for all the Colossuses. Boo. Alright, do we have any good emotes here? There we go, that's a good one. Blech. What went wrong here? I got drones sooner. But I pretty quickly like stopped droning and just built attack. So maybe like how many times did I actually triple drone, right? 1, 2, just twice. I think if I was gonna stop at this few drones, I maybe should not have gotten the 3rd Engie. I would then have been able to produce a few more pixies in the early game by getting the attack a bit sooner, although I don't know. In order to get Colossuses, I think it was important to get a lot of drones quickly. And I think the thermite cores were a good idea. If anything is wrong here, it was the Colossuses. Yeah, I think I underestimated like just how much Frostbite threatens to breach and how badly Colossus hates to be breached. Right, against Frostbites, you would like to offer mild gambits, because if you can't do that, you're like, suppose you're in a position where being breached once instantly loses the game. You know, Colossus's isn't quite that strong a condition, but it is really, really bad to be breached once. In that case, every Frostbite that your opponent builds effectively destroys a wall that you build, right? Because they just save up their Frostbites until they get that one breach that kills you. And in the meantime, your wall is just sitting there, making sure the Frostbite can't kill you. And that's like a tremendous amount of value, isn't it? Like, you can destroy a wall for 2 in a red, earning you $3. So that's why against Frostbite, you want to be able to offer slight gambits. If you have to completely be over-defended all the time, or not, if you have to never offer a gambit, you're in generally bad shape against Frostbites. And by buying a Colossus, I put myself in that position. I think I should have tried something else here. Probably not Hannibal's, since it's easy for him to get to 7 health, but maybe just get a lot of Xenos, right? He's sort of investing a lot in freeze threat, and Xenos are really good at dealing with freeze threat. I'm not sure exactly what red units I should be buying. Maybe my own Frostbites? I don't know. Ugh. Maybe I should have tried to get a Zatron. I think it was a little too late for that. I just have so much tech, and Yeah, maybe this is just the wrong tech. Like, I did all this because I wanted Colossus, and he made that not good by... I should have known, right? He had a game earlier today on stream that I was watching where, like, he discovered that Frostbite is the best unit in the game because his opponent bought them against him and murdered him. I should have known he would get a bunch of Frostbites, and should have thought about how I would be against that. I was thinking, like, yeah, Xeno Guardians are great against Frostbites, which is true, but I didn't think I didn't buy Xeno Guardians, right? I bought Colossuses. And that, I mean, that was clearly a well-timed Tia. No argument with that. Exactly on the turn when I'm going to have the most trouble defending. And also the turn where, like, if he doesn't do something right away, he's going to start losing to all the extra damage I'm getting from Colossus. I've had a game before, I think it was against Colento, right, where I tried to play Xenos and Colossuses as well, and it didn't really work out. I think in that one there were Deadeyes, not Thermites, but it was a kind of similar idea. And, like, I just don't quite, I can't quite get the timing right on these things. But also, I think, in the face of all these Frostbites, it was foolish of me to get Colossuses. And I didn't really have enough drones to support them either. Oh my god, it's Trump again. Okay. Alright, last time Bloodphage and Smorkus were in the set, we beat him. Let's do that again. He loves Sinestra, which, you know, it's hard to argue with. Player 1 here. Doomed Drone is the best, Doomed Wall, I should say, is the best absorber, leading, or suggesting, a slightly higher than nothing, like, amount of, economy. Your economy should be slightly higher than if there were just walls. Sinestra benefits also from, like, okay, so player 2 probably wants to go Sinestras. What do we do against that exactly? I think Doomed Walls are pretty good. There's nothing, like, that hugely exploits them except Militia, which a Sinestra player won't really have. These are some good red units. Bloodphage especially is great for Sinestra. So... It's hard to go Sinestra and also blue, but there's, like, very... Well, okay. Ferret and Sack. Also good with Sinestra, I guess. It's kind of scary. I think Sinestra should be pretty good here. How does player 1 go for Sinestra? It's pretty rough, isn't it? Like... I think you have to... get, like... I think player 2 definitely gets the first Sinestra. The way that you win as player 1 is by having better economy so that you can produce this stuff more reliably and you can defend it better. Maybe build a couple of the cheaper red attackers to to produce your first 3 attack to counteract the 3 attack they're getting from the early Sinestra. So I think we have to do something like this. I could get a Conduit here. I have, what, 10 drones? Yeah. Conduit leaves me 12 bucks, which I guess is Bloodphage Tarsier, actually. That's not bad. And I'll have the first green. Okay. Or maybe even Bloodphage Ferret and Sack to get me access to blue. Because I can get a drone with that as well. think I like that. I do want some blue. Probably not getting a doomed wall, just because I won't have that much blue. I don't want my wall to die off, I just want a regular, reliable absorber. I mean, obviously I could buy more ferret and sacks. So, what if we do this? Next turn, I could have as much as 22 bucks. That's Sinestra plus wall plus some more stuff, in fact. So maybe I should buy like an engineer. What if I did this? Then, assuming I'm clicking Ferret and Sack and Blood Phage, I'd have 18, which is Sinestra plus Wall. Of course, I don't have any attackers yet, so the Sinestra looks kind of stupid. I have Blood Phage. And Rhino. Eh. This doesn't seem too bad. Sinestra Wall, I like it. I imagine he's getting a wall here, not a doomed wall, right? Okay, wants more blue. Now, given that I have these ferret and sacks, I could buy a doomed wall at some point, but not right now, because I bought this engineer. I won't have enough money for Sinestra plus doomed wall. I'm really surprised to see that he didn't get any green. I would have expected natural conduit into like drone animus on turn 3 from player 2. There's good red stuff here, so I guess you could just go mono red with ferret and sack, but it seems like player 2 has an advantage in access to green, right? So I'm not sure why you wouldn't take that opportunity. It's gonna be a weird game in terms of like amount of... Every turn I've got like so many different tech options available, right? It's not like a normal... normally you have like some amount of tech you have to spend every turn, but with Blood Phage and Ferret and Sack you can like move stuff around so much that it's gonna be interesting deciding what to buy all the time, I suspect. If he wants to click that Rhino, he's going to have to build another or build a force field or something. Neither which he really... I don't know. I guess he should click the Rhino and build a Rhino. You don't really want a force field. But you don't want to defend with Rhino either. Yeah. Both of us just don't have enough drones to regularly Sinestra. It's a problem for sure. I don't know, I think we're sort of both a little over-teched here. Blood Phage helps a bit. But I wonder... No, I couldn't have unclicked the Blood Phage to build a Ferret and Sack. that costs $2, not just one. Okay, so... I don't really need to build anything blue right now. I could build a doomed wall, I guess. Cut out the rhino, click this to build a doomed wall. But then he exploits me if he attacks for... No, I guess not. Here he has to click the rhino to make me lose a drone. But it's not hard for him to click the rhino. I think this doomed wall is nice. It'll get me a little bit of extra absorb for a brief while. He can't really attack for less than 3 anytime soon, so he won't be able to deny it. Okay. In terms of permanent attack, it's pretty close. We each have about 4, with a little bit more on the way in. If I could ever stick a second Sinestra, I'd be quite happy, but I don't think that's likely to happen. I just need to build like a Smorkas or something to spend all this red, because I don't have any money. Really? Ah, he wants a doomed wall as well. So right now, I'm actually not granular enough right now. Yuck. If he attacks for specifically 5, which is quite easy for him, I get pretty poor value. I guess I'm building a rhino and a tarsier. I can get an engineer and then try to... Yeah, this will be my doomed wall tempo turn, actually, as well as my rhino tempo turn, which... Okay, this rhino's probably dying, which sucks. But, which I can try to use to stick a second Sinestra. I wonder if this Tarsia should have been a rhino. Just to give me a little bit of extra time, I guess, like a tempo, pressure. If I build the second Sinestra, so like, here's the thing. I think I can get it down without being breached. Yes, definitely. But the problem is, like, if I do that, I'm gonna have a lot of trouble defending, aren't I? Having no access to blue in the near future. But if I don't, I think he's just gonna be so far ahead in attack. I think I need to try this. I think another Doomed Wall is right for you here. My Tantalum Click is so scary. Yeah, the game's going to be decided relatively soon, one way or the other. I think it's a question of whether I can survive long enough, like, for this Sinestra to deliver value. And so something pretty passive like this, something very defensive, I think, is the best I can come up with. I mean, arguably the Ferret Sack is greedy, but I think it's necessary. And rhinos that you buy, so like these two engineers have as much health as a rhino, right? And they cost less. If you can do it without being prompt, you would prefer to buy. If you're buying a rhino just to defend with, and you don't need it to be prompt, you should prefer NGs. Here, in this case, you know, I didn't have the red anyway because I wanted the Ferret Sack, but these engineers are doing an even better job than if I had been able to build a rhino. Although, you know, they don't threaten attack, so there's that. He's also almost out of Tantalum Clicks, which is nice, but I mean, like, I'm only being hit with the first Gauss charge now. He's got the second one on the way, and he still has a third he can use eventually, so I guess it's maybe a matter of perspective whether he's just beginning the Tantalum Clicks or almost done. Okay, so $11 is like Doomed Wall, Ferret Sack, NGs basically, and maybe a force field. I don't know. I think it's pretty useful to keep this Ferret Sack train going, so I can be building walls to defend instead of rhinos. Wow, this Tarsier is astonishingly greedy. Can he really do this? Alright, a turn where I didn't have to force field is a good turn in my book. Tantalum Ray. These plays are like, I don't know. They're such an enormous surprise to me. I feel like there's no way he can get away with them. And I hope that I'm right, because if he can, I'm super dead, right? I could build a rhino here, which threatens a little extra attack. But he's going to be able to build a Doomed Wall to go with this expiring Doomed Wall, so I don't think there's much need for that. I should just build NGs. Let my 9 attack keep pressuring him. Right? I think. I don't know. This is a pretty important decision. I should take a little while. So he's going to have just a Doomed Wall and an NG. And I'll be attacking for 9. Another Doomed Wall gives him access to 7, 8 defense. Force Field defends comfortably. But if I had 1 extra attack, it wouldn't, right? That would be off. No, he has a Rhino as well. Okay. So he actually has 2 more defense. I don't think this is the turn to build a Rhino. I think I just need to say, like, that I'm going to weather the storm here. With Ferret and Sacks and NGs. He's having to still force field, and he's running out of resources. Oh yeah, I need another Ferret and Sack. Doomed Wall here is interesting. I guess it's maybe right. It means he doesn't need to force field. Yeah, I should Doomed Wall as well. Ferret and Sack supply is running low. You don't see that too often. We have the same number of drones. We're making the same sized attacks. We have similar amounts of defense lying around. What's the difference? His attacks are getting smaller because he's having to... He's running out of Tantalum Ray clicks. He was using this Tantalum Ray to get him up to parity with me on attacks. He's now trying to squeeze in an extra Tarsier, which just seems like disrespectful. I see. He's giving up on the Ferret and Sack train, I guess? This is also disrespectful, but I have more green. I think this is worth doing. I don't know, like, geez, like this Tarsier though is crazy. What if I built a Rhino instead of all that silly stuff? I think that's probably okay. Get a little extra attack in. Make him build a bunch of force fields. I don't know about a bunch, maybe it's just 1. 2? It's 2. Yeah, this Rhino, it makes a big difference. Right, he has to hold another drone or build another force field just because of the Rhino. And this Ferret and Sack, I think, is going to arrive too late to be meaningful. So I think that I am not replacing my Ferret and Sack here. Yeah, he can't exploit my granularity. He doesn't have any flex attack. And I think an engineer is more important than a Ferret and Sack at this point. The game's going to be over very, very soon. I'm not going to be able to build many more walls. Next turn, wall sounds good. After that, doesn't seem very likely. Not floating any resources. I'm floating red, but I can't do anything with it. So let's see. Doomed Wall, Force Field. Do I buy a Ferritin Sack, or is the dollar more important? I think the dollar is more important. Just to have access to that next turn for whatever it is I need it for. I don't know exactly what. I have a Rhino. I might be okay next turn. I might be... No, but 2 turns from now, I won't have enough money to buy a wall. Who am I kidding? These drones are all going to be force fields by then. If he builds a wall, he can't build any force fields, so the Ferritin Sack is not getting any value here. He's getting back the dollar he spent on it. Okay, Rhino hold. That's a thing, sure. But I have way more force fields than he does. I think I'm well ahead here. I can even get one last Rhino. Seems good. That was a long, slow decline for both of us there. Really long game where like neither of us was doing much for quite a long time. Look at how long we spent with like the same damage amount. It's kind of weirdly spiky here. Oh yeah, Sinestra will do that, I guess. Okay. I was adding it 4 at a time because of Tarsier arriving and then building a Sinestra at the same time. And surprisingly, we both managed to survive at this point for as long as we did. But okay, let's have a look at the replay. Both of us getting Blood Phage and Ferritin Sack. I don't know, kind of a cool mirror opening. Except that I got this green. So, like, I don't know. This is normally not a great Sinestra. I don't know. It's just sort of hard for player 1 to get good Sinestras, I think. There must be something that does it, but I don't know exactly what it is. Here, though, the presence of Blood Phage made me like feel okay. I don't know. I cut a drone to get out blood. I don't know. It seems silly. I didn't cut a drone to get out Blood Phage. I cut a drone to get Sinestra and then like build Blood Phages once I could afford it again. So kind of went back to droning after cutting a bit to build this green drone of a sort. My thinking being that green will be more important than gold in well, obviously I don't want 13 green and 0 gold, but you know, a few green will be worth a lot more than the gold. He, you know, his early Animus meant he got the first attacker advantage and I couldn't absorb this Blood Phage attack, kind of stinks. And he tried to show that my conduit was too greedy, I think, is basically what his line is sort of doing. Saying like, look, I'll just build more attackers and you'll regret this conduit. The Sinestras will be too hard to get out. And I did end up paying a pretty heavy price to get out the Sinestras. It might have been better to just be like getting red stuff, get more Tarsiers that way. But, you know, having the conduit around was pretty useful for later in the game. I needed a lot of force fields. I think if he wanted to continue with his plan, then buying a conduit was the wrong approach. He should have just like, I don't know, added another Animus and like produce a Smorkus or something, as well as like Ferritin Sack Tarsier. More aggressive stuff to punish the player who's trying to go greedy, which is me. The conduit here, it's hard to believe you'll ever be able to build a Sinestra, and so this conduit is mostly just for force fields. It could be fine, but I think it's not yet so late in the game that he needs to do that, and it might be better to come at me a bit more aggressively. This wall, I guess, I don't know. If I had cut an engineer here, I could have gotten a doomed wall. And I did some thinking about that and decided doomed wall wasn't a good idea. But this was because I expected to have very little access to blue. But as the game turned out, I was basically spending all of my red on getting blue. And so maybe I could have worked a bit harder to get a doomed wall train, right? I looked pretty silly getting a wall and then immediately a doomed wall, right? It made me not very granular. I got less absorbed than I could have if I'd built a doomed wall first. I don't know. He could have punished the doomed wall by not attacking with that rhino, but is that really such a punish? Maybe. I wonder if I could have just like saved the ferritin sack and built a rhino here and said like, yep, you got me, not great defense, oh well. Just soak the rhino into the wall. Trying to get another Sinestra here is so amazingly greedy. I think he did well on this turn to build attackers to try to make me not be able to do that. The Rhino and the Doomed Wall, though, did, as I predicted, combine to give me like a turn where I don't really need to defend at all, and could get at the Sinestra. And then both of us are like basically just only defending. Except, well, that's not quite true, right? He actually started building more Tarsiers. Unbelievable. The disrespect. Right? Like here. Unbelievable. I guess, you know, from his point of view, he's attacking for around 8, soon to be 7, and I'm attacking for 10. If he can't do something, well, not really 10, call it 9, because this Rhino's dead. But if he doesn't do something to get another attacker or two, he's gonna lose, right? So maybe from that point of view, he's right to try to sneak in a Tarsier. He has more green, though, and more drones, so he's not without advantages. I don't know. And I don't know, most of what happened in this endgame here, like a lot of my plays didn't really matter. Or there wasn't anything to decide upon. Just like keep converting my Animus into like a Blast Forge plus a drone, basically, which is what I was doing with the Blood Fates Click and the Ferritin Sack train. I guess there were decisions about whether to buy doomed walls or regular walls on occasion, but those usually make themselves based on just like a little bit of simple math. Buy engineers with all the spare money. Yeah. At this stage, it was just sort of a question of whether he could kill me using like my completely forced plays. I think that first Tarsier and those early Tantalum Rays were like kind of cool. This last Tarsier, wow, very greedy. And also the last Ferritin Sack. You notice this is the point where I said, yep, that's enough Ferritin Sacks for me. I'm just not going to be building any more walls. Recognizing that point. helped a bit because I didn't have money tied up in this. And like, what did that Tarsier end up doing, by the way? He built the Tarsier, and it finally attacks for 1 on 17. And then on 18, he resigns, right? No, okay, it attacks for 2. But the point is, if he just built like 2 engineers, it would have done at least as much, probably more. Would have been worth more health. I don't know. Okay, well, cool. I'm glad to not keep losing to him. But, you know, I'm glad he's continuing to get to be a better player, right? I have a lot of experience on him, in the sense that I've been playing for a lot longer recently. And I think he has a good aptitude. And I hope he continues to enjoy the game and get better and keep beating players who've been playing for longer. But preferably not me, thanks, if that's alright. Okay. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.